In the last session, I have discussed about the Industrial Policy 1956, and in this 40th session, I am going to discuss about Industrial Policy 1991. Introduction. On July 24, 1991, the government announced its new industrial policy statement in the Parliament with a view to achieve rapid industrial growth. It abolished all kinds of compulsory licensing for industries except for a short list of 18 industries. It abolished rupees 100 crores asset limit for MRTP companies. It hiked the limit for foreign equity holding from 40% to 51% and removed all bureaucratic hurdles in the industrial growth. So the objectives of this policy is, first one, to accelerate the stand build up during the last 40 years of economic planning. Second objective, to correct the weaknesses of industrial sector as happened during the last 40 years. Third objective, maintaining a sustained growth in productivity and gainful employment. Fourth objective, to achieve technological dynamism and international competitiveness. So these are the four objectives of industrial policy. The next part is aims of new policy. So there are some primary aims of new industrial policy 1991. The first aim is to introduce liberalization in order to integrate the Indian economy with the world economy. Second aim is to remove restrictions on direct for investment as well as the to free their domestic entrepreneur from the restriction of MRTP Act. Third objective, to remove the load of public sector enterprises which are incurred in losses over the years. Fourth objective, to unshake the Indian economy from the cobweb of unnecessary bureaucratic control. So these are the some objectives of industrial policy 1991. So next part of this session is reforms of the policy. The reforms of industrial policy made the government to make a series of initiatives in respect of policies in the following areas. The first area is industrial licensing. So first point under industrial licensing is abolition of licensing. Industrial licensing will be abolished from all the project accepted a short list of 18 industries. Some of these industries are as follows: petroleum, sugar, animal fats and oils, raw hide skins, skin leathers, cars, paper and newsprints, industrial explosive, electronic, aerospace and defense equipments, hazardous chemicals, drugs and pharmaceuticals, white goods, entertainment, electronics, etc. So these are the some industries on which the compulsory licensing has been abolished. The second one is compulsory licensing. This provision is not applicable to some of the small units taking up the manufacturing of motor cars, white goods, raw hide and skins, and patent leather, which is exclusively reserved for them. Third one is reservation for the public sector. Areas where security and strategic concerns predominated will be reserved for public sector. These industries includes arms and ammunition, or atomic energy, mining, railway, transport, etc. Fourth one, automatic clearance. In projects where the import capital goods are required, automatic clearance will be given. Fifth one, location policy. In the cities or areas with more than 1 million population, there will be no requirement for the central government for the approval of compulsory licensing. Sixth point, broadband facility. Existing and new industries will be provided new broadband facilities to produce articles so long without any additional investment in plant and machinery. Seventh one, abolition of registration scheme. All the existing registration schemes such as the license registration, dated registration will be abolished. Under the reforms of industrial policy, the first point was abolition of licensing or compulsory licensing. So second point under this is foreign investment policy. So, under foreign investment policy, first point is automatic approval for direct foreign investment. Approval will be given for direct foreign investment up to 51% to high priority industries. So, this is the first point under foreign investment policy. So, second point under this is payment of dividend. Payment of dividend would be maintained by the Reserve Bank of India so as to ensure that outflows on accounts of dividend payments are balanced. So, third point under this is foreign equity holdings. In order to improve the condition of international market for foreign equity holdings up to 51% would be given to trading company is primarily engaged in export activities. Fourth one, special empowered board. A special empowered board would be set up in order to negotiate with large investment international firms and approve direct investment in selected areas. Fifth point under this is foreign investment freed. Investment of foreign firms would be totally freed from predetermined parameter. These points are related to the second one. The third reform under the industrial policy 1991 is foreign technology agreement. So this is the third reform under this policy. So foreign technology agreements also include some of the following points. The first point is automatic permission for foreign technology agreement. So automatic permission will be given for foreign technology agreement in high priority industries up to lump sum payment of rupees 1 crore for the period of 10 years from the date of agreement. Second point under this is automatic permission to other industries. Automatic permission will be given to other industries like domestic sales industries, export industries, etc. Third point is no permission for the service of foreign technicians. No permission is necessary for hiring foreign technicians in Indian industries. So, this is about the third reform of industrial policy 1991, and the fourth reform of industrial policy is related to public sector. So, fourth reform is public sector. So, under this point there are some sub points. The first point under this is a review of public sector investment. Public sector investment will be reviewed with the view to focus public sector on strategic high tech and its essential infrastructure. This one is the first point. And the second point is private sector to enter reserved areas. As the reservation of industries for public sector would be continued, private sector is also allowed to enter into public sector. So this is the second point. So third point is public sector to enter and reserved areas. The public sector is allowed to enter in the areas as reserved for private sector. So fourth point is social security mechanism. Social security mechanism would be created to protect the interest of industrial workers. So we can summarize this session by saying it can be concluded that the new industrial policy has introduced certain challenges issues in order to restructure the industrial sector of the country.